It's a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Ohio.
The trade deadline has come and gone. Now it's back to the business of winning baseball games. It all starts on the mound for the Indians, and Carlos Carrasco will be the man setting the tone for the Tribe against red-hot Max Kepler and the Twins. Next on Sports Time Ohio. Progressive Field in downtown Cleveland, Ohio. Another gorgeous night for baseball. The Indians looking to even up this series at a game apiece against their Central Division rivals, the Minnesota Twins. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Last night, Minnesota Twins rookie Max Kepler made this place his personal playground. Absolutely mashed the baseball every time he came up.
Well, when you're Max Kepler, you come out. He had a wonderful July with 23 RBIs and led everybody in the American League. And he's off to a tremendous start in August. 3 two-run home runs. The Indians were able to find that sweet zone that he has down and in, and they did it 3 times. Salazar did it twice. Cody Anderson did it once, and he was his own wrecking ball. And the Twins went on. They had 19 hits. They had 5 home runs. They had 10 extra base hits. And you look at the 3 times a charm with Max Kepler. Only 2 rookies have done that. Corey Seager did it this year, and you see the names to follow that did it in their career being rookies.
All right, so the Indians will try to slow down this hard-hitting Minnesota Twins lineup. Carlos Carrasco gets the call for the Tribe, and they need a good start just to restore a little confidence in that rotation.
Well, Carlos is going to get the hill and try and stop that loss that they suffered last night. He's been throwing a lot of changeups, so Carlos has had a good feel for that pitch to go along with his 2-seam fastball, and that slider's got to come into play. The Twins have been very hot. They've been averaging over 6 runs a game now in the last 5 games. So, I mean, it's going to be something for him to do that. He'll be faced by Kyle Gibson. Gibson in his career 2-3 against the Indians, but both of his wins have come in this ballpark, but they beat him right after the All-Star break, and he gave up 10 hits to the Indians.
We'll see if the Indians can even up the series tonight at a game apiece. When we come back, we'll have tonight's first pitch. Plus, the newest member of the Cleveland Indians is here, Brandon Guyer. He's not in the starting lineup, but he will be with Andre Knott when we return. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Collins, the Indians enter tonight's matchup with the second best win percentage in the American League, behind only Texas. The Rangers on the road tonight taking on Baltimore. Both of those teams very busy at the trade deadline. Also, the Tigers are in action. They're at home taking on the White Sox. The Tigers 4 back in the AL Central standings. We'll keep you updated on both of those games. Now we'll send it back out to Rick and Matt at Progressive Field.
All right, thanks a lot, Ashley. We'll keep an eye on the Tigers, the hottest team currently in baseball, having won 6 in a row, 8 of their last 10. But here at Progressive Field, it's the Indians and the Twins, and Cleveland gets another new player added to the roster before the ballgame, Brandon Guyer. The Indians traded for him before the deadline. He arrived in time to get into uniform. He's available tonight, not in the starting lineup, but Andre Knott did catch up with him earlier today in our Hear Right Sounds of the Game.
Thanks, guys. Brandon, first of all, welcome to Cleveland. What's the last 24 hours been like for you?
It's been crazy. Went from not expecting a trade at all and to, just having a lot of mixed emotions and, saying bye to everybody with Tampa, and then, also being excited about this opportunity and joining the first place team. And so it's been crazy trying to get everything figured out and all that stuff. But, I'm really excited to be here.
Most important question, what did Kevin Cash tell you about playing for Tito?
He just said it's greght, man. He had nothing but, he ribbed him a little bit. He had some things to say, but, he said nothing but good things about him. I've heard that from a lot of people, so definitely look forward to it.
For the fans out there, we can obviously look at your numbers. You obviously do very well against left-handed pitching. What kind of player are you? What kind of player do you want to show people that you are?
Just a player who's going to give it his all every time. High energy. Just go out there, play the game, enjoy it, and really do whatever it takes to help the team win. Especially a team like this, I'm not trying to do anything crazy. Just come in here, contribute any way I can, and help them.
Your name wasn't one of those names that was talked about a lot leading up to the trading deadline. As a player, what are the expectations, and how do you deal with maybe not hearing your name to, oh boy, I got to go somewhere else?
Yeah, no, it was different. I guess if you hear your name, you can kind of be ready for it and stuff like that. But, it just kind of came as a surprise. But it's part of the business. It can happen to anyone at any time. It was tough to say goodbye, like I said, but it's really exciting to be here.
Chris Jimenez is one of the first guys that told us you'll fit right into this clubhouse. You'll have fun in this clubhouse. And he says, we'll like watching you play. So it's got to help to have a couple faces, right? Yeah.
I played with him in Durham in AAA, so know him well. Love him. Great guy. So it makes it a little easier already knowing somebody. And, I played against a lot of these guys coming up and through the minors and in the big leagues. So definitely makes the transition a little easier.
All right, thanks a lot. Andre Knott visiting with Brandon Guyer, who's with the ball club in uniform, ready to be called upon if needed here tonight. Right now, the Indians take the field behind Carlos Carrasco. And let's take a look at the Minnesota Twins starting lineup under manager Paul Molitor, brought to you by Spitzer Automotive. Brian Dozier will lead it off. Joe Mauer batting second. What a night he had. 4 for 5 with a double and a homer, but that paled in comparison to the 3-homer night by Max Kepler. Miguel Sano, Kurt Suzuki, Eduardo Escobar in the middle. Rosario, Polanco, Santana round out a Twins lineup. 7 of those 9 players in the lineup tonight had at least 2 hits in the ball game last night.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that didn't have 2 hits for them last night. And it's going to be our Honda starting pitcher is Carlos Carrasco. He is 7-4 on the year, and Carlos in the month of July, as we turn the page going to August, he was 3-2 with a .222. He did beat Minnesota coming out of the break. That was in Minnesota, went 6 2/3 innings, gave up 4 hits and a couple of runs, and the Indians have won 11 of Carrasco's 15 starts this year. So, and he pitches 6 innings at least. He goes a long time in the ball game. 11 of his 15 starts, he has gone 6 innings. Let's set the defense for him behind Carlos tonight. Brought to you by Jeep. Looks like this: Almonte in left, Naquin center, Chisenhall in right, Ramirez at third, Lindor at short, Kipnis is at second, Napoli is at first with Perez doing the catching.
C.B. Buckner behind the plate, Manny Gonzalez at first, Jim Reynolds at second, the crew chief Fielding Gilbreth is down at third base. And we are ready to go. Carlos Carrasco's first pitch a little bit outside, ball 1. Brian Dozier 1 for 6 last night, cuts to the high fastball, and that baby was in there at 97 miles an hour. Threw another heater by him. Well, how's that, Rick, for coming out and establishing the fastball?
That's one thing that Salazar didn't do last night, and I think that Carlos realized that. He's coming out and he's throwing. He's letting it go.
Hit to third, scooped up by Jose Ramirez. One away. Keys to the game are courtesy of Wayside Furniture. Hopefully Carlos Carrasco can come out here tonight and set the tone. And when you're facing Max Kepler, we saw last night, down and in, that's his happy zone.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of left-handers' happy zone, but he had a chance to find 3 of them last night.
First pitch, strike to Joe Mauer.
This is a guy that hit a home run as well. Andrew Miller hung him a slider on the inside part of the plate, and he took it out to right field. He had some kind of night with 4 hits last night.
Yeah, nice pitch down and in, took something off. Mauer swinging over the top, and a lot of times Carrasco will tell you that his changeup, it might be mid-90s sometimes.
It could be 93, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing I like, he's out there, he's letting it rip. I'll tell you that since July 1st, this Twins team has scored more runs than anybody.
Threw it right by him at 97. 2 quick outs.
This is going to be our Circle K strikeout. He did not do anything but just throw his fastball to Mauer, and he threw it by him 3 times. And gets his first strikeout.
And here is Max Kepler, the rookie who put himself on the minds of everyone across baseball last night with a 3-homer performance. And all 3 homers were 2-run shots. Nice little breaking ball. That's in for a strike.
First off speed pitch. Nice pitch.
Wow.
Very good pitch in there. One of the tougher ones to get called, but that did not look. Look at that. 95 plus on 8 out of his first 10.
Breaking ball, and that's over the outside corner to even the count at 2-2. Kepler fouls a fastball back. Cut under that breaking ball a little too much. And a 3-2 missed way outside. So Kepler draws a 2-out walk to keep the inning alive. It'll bring up Miguel Sano, and I mentioned that 7 of the 9 starters tonight had at least 2 hits in the game last night. Miguel Sano did not play, but the man he replaced, Kenny Vargas, was the I think he was the only Twin that was hitless last night. He went 0 for 5. Brian Dozier was 1 for 6. Those were the only 2 guys in the lineup last night that didn't have multiple hits. But as the saying goes, somebody's got to make the outs.
Yeah, they sure do.
And Miguel Sano takes a strike. A little bit low. At the knees, a fastball for a strike.
Carrasco this year at home. He has started 7 games. He is 2-2. His ERA is at 3.43. He has a 1.72 on the road. Well, now we're getting into the month of August, Matt. You can tell at first base that sun now is not as bad as it was. It's going down a little quicker now when the game starts.
Yeah, the first baseman doesn't have to worry about looking right into that sun.
Correct.
Look how quickly it changes. The 1-2 in the air to center. Naquin has a beat on it, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, 1 man left. The Indians are coming to bat. This lineup under Terry Francona brought to you by Progressive. Carlos Santana will lead it off. He'll DH. Then Jason Kipnis, followed by Francisco Lindor. Mike Napoli, who homered last night, has 25 on the year, will bat cleanup. Jose Ramirez is 5th. Lonnie Chisenhall 6th. Tyler Naquin, Abraham Almonte, and Roberto Perez rounded out.
Monday starting pitcher Kyle Gibson for the Twins. Gibson 6'6", 220 pounds. He's 28 years old, making his 2nd start this year against the Indians.
And Gibson's first pitch misses for ball 1. A late call, and it's a strike to even it up at 1-1. I don't know what that was all about.
Well, Gibson's last start, the Indians got 10 hits off him in 6 innings, and he gave up 4 runs. 1 walk, he had 4 strikeouts, and that was a season high as far as hits go.
And there's a base hit in the right field. So Santana starts the game with a solid line drive to right field for Cleveland.
Yeah, it's an elevated. He's more of a sinker ball guy, Gibson. But watch this one. Boy, that's belt high, maybe a little bit above that, and Santana took advantage of it. Boy, he better get it down, or they will continue to hit the ball like that. This is Gibson's 9th start against the Indians. He is 2-3 with a .580 ERA in his career. Both the wins have come right here in this ballpark.
Jason Kipnis looks at a ball up and away. He's been swinging the bat very well. 7 hits on the homestand, 6 runs batted in. He has scored 5. You talk about being at the 103 game mark now on the year. In his last 70 contests, Kipnis has batted just a shade under 300 with 44 runs batted in, 16 doubles, 14 home runs.
Well, Kipnis great numbers against Gibson.
Sends this one to left, right to Danny Santana. 1 away.
Check out the Twins D. They are rated last in the league. They have made 77 errors with their fielding percentage. So Santana's in left making that catch. Rosario in center. Kepler over in right. Polanco at third. Escobar at short. Dozier at second. Mauer at first. Suzuki doing the catching.
One of those errors you referred to was rescinded before the game tonight. There was an error charged to Rosario in center field last night, but it was overturned by the official score after further review. So Mike Napoli gets credited with a second hit last night and to take the error away from Rosario. It was a line drive that Napoli hit that he went into a slide and just didn't come up with the play.
I think it was the right call to begin with. I mean, we said something about it, but it usually does. It gets overturned if it's should be right.
Well, we talked to the official scorer, Chad Brodsky, and we didn't realize he doesn't have the benefit of having a replay monitor. So he only got the one look at it.
That's unbelievable to me. You're in the big leagues, you're the official scorer, and you don't have your own monitor to check out replays.
No, that's
hard to believe.
It makes it tough. You only get one look at it. Lindor with a base hit into right field. Santana will hit second. He'll stay right there. Kepler up with it quickly. But now the Indians with a couple of hits here in the first. Our great clip of the game last night. Unfortunately, it came late when the game was essentially already decided, but it doesn't matter. Mike Napoli with 25 home runs now and 74 runs batted in. Our great clip of the game.
Yeah, he's really put together a great season so far. And still, what do we got? 58 games to go.
Tied for 6th in home runs.
And 5th in ribbies, right?
Yep, tied for 5th in ribbies with Josh Donaldson of the Blue Jays.
What a year. He's really.
And I don't know about you, but understanding that he can be a little streaky, we've seen that. But I don't look at Knapp as a guy who looks like he's peaked or is maybe getting tired. I look at a guy who still has a hot streak maybe left in him.
Well, Tito's taking care of him. You know, he doesn't play him out there at first base every day. He'll take 2 or 3 days in a row and DH him. Let him get off his legs. He knows he's going to, you know, wear down after a while. A little bit older, you got to protect your players. You got to take care of them. That's when Santana plays first base. Of course, you lose something defensively, but you've got to take care of this guy. He's got to stay healthy all year, and he's done a great job, and I don't see any reason why it shouldn't continue.
Gibson being careful with him here, 2-0. And it looks like he wants no part of him.
I mean, he's been through the trenches, the wars. He's been to the playoffs, what, 7 out of the last 9 years. He's a guy that you need out there with the game on the line. And he's part of the heart and soul of his ball club.
Yeah, I think it's 51 postseason games in his career.
I mean, he's the guy you want out there. He's going to lead you to the promised land.
And the 3-0. Swung out and missed. He's got the green light without question.
And why would you? Well, the thing of it is, when you get a 3-0 gun and he knows he's going to get a fastball, which he did, he let it go. It may not have been right in his zone, but he let it fly. He was trying to put the Indians up 3-0.
3-1 pitch. Big chopper foul over Andre's head.
Looked like it got that camera, that fixed camera that's set up over there.
I thought maybe that was Marcoja's head. Had that tinny sound. Three-two pitch. Napoli with a ground ball to third. Polanco to second for one on to first, an inning-ending double play. No runs, 2 hits, 1 left. No score after 1. Second inning. He more or less mowed him down in the first.
Well, he came out of the chute and he was bringing it. I haven't seen him throw 96, 97 in the first inning like that, like he has today.
And a strike over the outside corner. Easy tapper back to the hill. Carrasco throws out Suzuki, 1 away.
Well, Carlos went out there in the top half of the first inning and he had 18 pitches in the first and 13 of those were at 95 or better. And they were located too. It's not like he was just throwing as hard as he could. He located them very well and he threw them. He had a strikeout on Mauer there, threw the fastball right by him.
Now Eduardo Escobar. Up and away, ball 1. Escobar, a pair of hits last night, 2 for 5. Scored a run, drove in 1. One ball, 1 strike.
You know, it makes me start thinking, you know, with that extra off day we had this week, Matty, he's pitching out on his 6th day as opposed to his 5th. Don't know if that had anything to do with it, but he's not overthrowing. Maybe he feels really good early.
Tapper, and that's going to go foul. Well, we've tried to figure out why Minnesota has had the kind of success against Cleveland this year that they have had. And I don't think there's any one thing. It's not as simple as saying, well, here's why. They haven't pitched well or they haven't scored. It's been a little bit of both. There have been some games where the Indians haven't swung the bats well against Minnesota. That's certainly a factor. There have been some close games that Minnesota found ways to win. But one thing about the Twins overall is, look at this, okay? When they started out the year, 7-17 in April, 8-19 in May, so they were buried.
Right.
But since July 1st, they're 15-11. They're batting .276 as a team, so
and they've scored more runs than anybody in the league.
They're playing confident right now, and they're not afraid. They don't have any pressure. So,
as I said last night, their pitching has improved every month along the way. So is their hitting. They're hitting the long ball. The thing that surprises me about Minnesota, they're the worst defensive team. Usually that is not a Minnesota team. They usually play very good defense. They're a lot like the Orioles, you know, that are always there catching the ball. They don't beat themselves. But it's hard to understand. They're not intimidated by the Indians because they're in the division. And these two teams, I don't care what you have, they match up well.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it has to do with that confidence factor. Once you've played well against a team,
right,
you go in, you have good feeling. Hey, we play well against these guys.
We're not intimidated.
They don't. Minnesota's not overthinking it. They just know, hey, we play well against these guys. Let's go get them.
And the thing of it is, if you look at it on paper, you would say there's no way that they should be. Look at, the Indians have 6 losses against them. They've only lost 14 games in the Central. And Minnesota only has 6 wins combined against the rest of the Central Division. So don't try to figure it out. It's crazy.
That's out of play, I believe it is.
That's why we always say this game's it's not played on paper. It may look good on paper, but you still got to go out and play the game and get 27 outs and outscore the team.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 down here in the second. And a ground ball in the hole. And Rosario has the Twins' first hit on an 0-2 pitch.
0-2 pitch.
Batting 8th for Minnesota, number 11, the third baseman.
Our stat of the game is brought to you by Buick. Twins have won 10 of their last 16 on the road because they're averaging better than 6 runs a game. That'll do it.
Absolutely. Every team throughout the course of the year hits a spell where they go offensively, and that's when they get into very good streaks. It's just something that you're not going to maintain for any length of time. Some maintain it a little bit longer.
Jorge Polanco, a couple of triples last night.
Yeah, he had a nice night.
Foul, just barely foul at the first base line. Here's the weird thing about the season series. Minnesota against the rest of the Central in 27 games, they're averaging 3.3 runs a game. Against the Indians, they're averaging better than 5 runs a game in 10 games played. And that's against what is arguably the best pitching staff in the American League. So you go figure that one out.
Well, you can't. I'm done trying.
That best pitching staff in the American League took a little bit of a hit today. Danny Salazar placed on the 15-day disabled list. The good news, though, if there's a silver lining, the MRI revealing it's sore, inflammation, but no structural damage. And that's what you always, anytime someone says MRI, you think, oh no, what's that going to say?
Well, you do it for precautionary. These guys get MRIs like we take aspirin. You know, it's like, you know, if there's ever a doubt, you got to go in and you got to check. You want to make sure.
So hopefully it's just a 2-week stint, and Danny misses a couple of turns in the rotation, and hopefully he'll be back.
He was shut down before. You know, they gave him an extended stay. It was, I think, a 7 or an 8 day, you know, reprieve, but we'll see.
Jorge Polanco with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Slowly chopped towards first. It's foul. I don't know if there was any official word before the game. Maybe Andre has more on that as far as who would make the start for Salazar in the rotation. We'll check with Andre here after this pitch if the inning does not come to a close. He could have jumped in and told us by now, but that's the way it goes. Runner goes. Pitch is low. Ball is dropped. And down to Andre.
Mike Clevenger will come up from Columbus. He will make the start on Thursday afternoon, the final game of the homestand. Then Josh Tomlin will get bumped back, and he will start game 1 in New York, fellas.
All right.
Also, Clevenger's going to start Thursday here.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, they'd rather have him here than go to New York to start.
I don't blame him.
And I believe his day was tomorrow to pitch down in Columbus, so they just figured it'd work better. Get him here, get him relaxed, pitch him Thursday afternoon. He'll most likely make both starts while Danny's gone.
Okay. So that's a noon game on Thursday. And you can see why. They don't want to put him into the bright lights of New York. I don't blame him.
Now the 2-2. Slowly chopped to first.
One's got to stay fair, doesn't it?
Napoli makes the play to end the inning. No runs ahead, a man left. No score, middle of the second. Broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the United States Armed Forces serving around the world on land and on the ships at sea. Welcome
Yeah, welcome to Cleveland, Ohio.
And a beautiful night, 82 degrees at game time. Indians lead the Tigers by 4 games in the American League Central Division, 5 games up in the loss column. Tribe a couple of percentage points behind Texas for the best record in the AL.
Well, and still the Tribe has played the fewest games. They still got a couple more to go, right?
Yeah.
Game number 104.
Tigers have already played 105.
They're playing 106 tonight, so a couple more to go.
Kyle Gibson's 1-1 pitch. Ramirez with a chopper to second baseman Brian Dozier. 1 away. Tonight's injury report is brought to you by Health and Elk. And for the Indians, it's a big list on the DL. Obviously, Danny Salazar, we just talked about that. Tommy Hunter sounds like he's on the fast track to getting back. Michael Brantley continues to progress. Andre Nat has all the information.
Joe Colon will throw a simulated game tomorrow afternoon. Hunter's been throwing really well over the last couple of days, and they say over the next week or so they possibly could go out to do something. There are a lot of names up there. Basically, Jeff Manship is closer to coming back. He was throwing from 90 feet today. Hopefully in about, 2 weeks, you'll have some tough decisions to make for that bullpen, and hopefully Michael Brantley's out on assignment soon here as well.
You know, Andre, Terry Francona was asked about a guy that I frankly had sort of forgotten about, and that was Craig Stammen, who came to spring training and had a little bit of a setback, but it sounds like he could still maybe be an option at some point. He
still could be. He's down in Columbus. What they really need him to do, Matt, though, he needs to pitch in back-to-back days because he's a reliever. That hasn't happened a lot for him so far, but they're hoping that will happen. And the thing about Brantley, he's not on assignment, but he's going against a pitching machine that throws it up to 95 miles an hour. And they like he's been able to go against that day in and day out, and that may help him more than being on assignment right now, according to the guys here.
Well, hopefully it's a matter of, as we've learned, bouncing back. As long as he comes back every day feeling good and not having any setbacks, that's a great sign. And hopefully that means he'll be out on a rehab assignment in the very near future.
Well, his spirits are high, and he wants to help this team.
Oh, yeah.
And he kind of said to me last night, he goes, I just want to fit in. He goes, even if I can't give everything I got, I just want to help one way or the other.
Everybody's pulling for him. Here's Tyler Naquin with 2 down and the bases empty, and he takes down low, ball 1. Tyler Naquin and Max Kepler of the Twins. Boy, those two guys neck and neck, I think, Arch, for Rookie of the Year.
I'll tell you, look at their numbers, very similar since June 1st.
Slow chopper. Mauer with a backhanded grab. And they just do beat him to the bag. Indians go in order. And after 2, no score in Cleveland. Covering the bases with tires for superior performance all season long. Goodyear, more driven. Progressive Field on a perfect night for baseball. Light breeze blowing in, but as we saw last night, it's not the kind of breeze that appears to knock the ball down.
Well, this one's blowing in. I know the ball's been carrying here this year, no doubt. No doubt about it.
Danny Santana, the number 9 hitter in the Twins lineup, fouls it off. It's 0-2. Maybe if it was a cold night, that would be a factor.
Well, that comes in April. We paid our dues in April when it was blowing in like that and it was a little chilly. But boy, what a summer this has been. It's been spectacular. Not a lot of rain. Been hot, humid. That's the way we like it. Good baseball weather.
My lawn looks like your front yard in Phoenix right now.
And you know what? I don't have a lawn. I got rocks. And you know what? You love it because you don't have to go out and mow it every week.
Or water it.
Right. So you just let it stay dormant.
That's right. It's what grasses naturally does. It goes dormant in the summertime. These people that water, I don't know. What do you do?
They like green. There's nothing wrong. Lush.
What, you got to go out and chip on it?
Yeah.
That's
not a bad thing. No, that's why you go to the golf course.
Now the 1-2. A little foul off. Now, but one thing, those of us who spend the winters in northeastern Ohio, we know that you don't complain about how warm it is or how dry it is, because all we do is complain all winter long about how awful the weather is. So you grin and bear it if it's a little uncomfortable in the summertime. The 1-2. And that stayed. I thought it stayed fair.
Well, he caught
hit him in the box?
It's in the batter's box. No,
Okay.
He's in the box, but Perez tried to come out and get it, and Santana didn't leave the box. He stayed right there. He wasn't going to give him any room. Looked like he tried to get him out of the way. You see, he's not leaving the box. He's seeing Santana Perez grab it in foul territory.
Yep. Good effort by Roberto. Count stays 1 ball, 2 strikes, 40 pitches, 29 of them strikes so far. That's a little bit too far inside.
Carlos's first time through, he's gotten to 2 strikes on these Twins hitters in a hurry.
Well, that's the important thing to do as a starting pitcher. And that's what Danny Salazar had a tough time doing last night. And it doesn't matter what lineup you're facing. If you're 2-0, 2-1 consistently, they're going to eventually make you pay for it. And now the 3-2. Deep to left. It's over Almonte's head. Short hops the wall. And it will be a double for Danny Santana to lead off the inning.
Well, he wasn't going to walk him. He went fastball. Maybe didn't locate it where he wanted to, and Santana stayed on it and hit it over the head of Almonte, but he didn't walk him. He forced him to hit his way on. No stride. You can see he just got his hands through the hitting area, and Almonte playing in gets a hit over his head. So Santana gets his 10th double of the year. They have the leadoff double.
Top of the order, Brian Dozier, who grounded out. It's only time up. Hits are even now at 2 apiece.
Minnesota had 3 doubles in last night's game, 2 triples, and 5 home runs.
Yeah, fastball strike. Dozier sitting on 19 home runs this year with 22 doubles. And he just crushed one deep to left, and that's in the seats. So Brian Dozier has Minnesota off and running again early. They lead it 2-0.
Well, this guy's been on a tear He's been swinging it, especially on the road. It's another 2-run home run for the Twins. That's 125 on the year, and there's a hanging changeup. You can see the spin to it, and he left it right there. And that's been the pitch he's had a tough time commanding to this point in the game. It's been basically the fastball. He's mixed in a couple sliders, but that change gets ripped out of here. And it's the 20th home run for DOZIER. Carlos is 14th allowed.
Joe Mauer checks. It's up high. Ball 1. Mauer struck out his first time up. And he just drives one to deep right. That's beyond Chisenhall's reach. Another double. 3 straight extra base hits to open the inning for Minnesota.
Yeah, every one of them hit right on the nose. Check the location, and you'll see why. I mean, those pitches, that was a fastball down the middle. He threw 3 right by him in the first inning. But now the second time around, they say, boy, we better get it geared up a little bit. He's throwing harder than we thought. And it's all about location.
Well, here's Max Kepler, who walked his first time up. And he takes a breaking ball low. In at the hip. 2-0.
Talking about June 1st and Kepler and Naquin, the 2 rookies, they have been outstanding. Kepler from June 1st, 14 homers, 44 RBIs. Naquin has 12 and a boatload as well. Not as many. He's got 32.
A breaking ball gets in for a strike. And that's drilled, and it is long gone. My goodness gracious. Max Kepler has hit his 4th 2-run home run of the series. And it's a 4-run third for Minnesota.
You're going to see about the same pitch that we saw 3 times last night that the Indians threw to this guy. And it's been double homer, and Kepler his 4th. Look at down. And it's right in there, and he drives it. This one was lifted, and it was out of here, stayed back nicely. And they have put 4 on the board on the first 4 hitters of the 3rd inning here. What a series this kid is having.
Well, you're not kidding.
And there's still 2 more games to go, 2.5, including this one.
And there's still nobody out. Swing and a miss to the breaking ball. Miguel SANO fly to center his first time up. Minnesota had a 5-run 3rd inning last night. It was a 2-run homer by Kepler and a 3-run triple by Polanco. Tonight it's a pair of 2-run homers. One by DOZIER, one by Kepler. High pop-up. And Jason Kipnis will make the grab one away.
Finally gets the first out. Let's look at the pitches to Max Kepler, and he has 4 home runs in this series. There's down and in, starting with a first 2-run home run. There's the second one, pretty much a little bit out more, maybe a ball width on the plate. That one was in and down, and this one tonight, right there, man, you can't throw him there, boys. He'll continue to do that the way he's swinging it. You know, and this is the thing when you think about it. I've been thinking about this. When we were in Baltimore, what happened? When the Indians were swept there after they won 2 out of 3 in Minnesota and Kansas City, they fell behind in the first inning every time. And what did we just say on this homestand? We've only had the lead, what, 1 time on this homestand against Oakland. I mean, they had it early. Yeah. We came back.
Yeah.
And in this series, they're coming out, they're jumping out front, and the Indians are having to play catch up.
Let's go down to Andre.
Guys, another thing about Kepler as we watch is he's just his 15th home run. All 15 of his home runs have been to right field, with just a few of them to center field. He doesn't hit the ball the other way. I bring this up because he was a guy, if you remember when we were back in Minnesota right after the All-Star break, that at the end of the game, when Joe Colon was on the mound, remember they brought in the extra infielder and basically dared him to hit the ball to right field. Talking to people from Minnesota, says he's kind of figured it out. He tried to spray the ball early on. He's a pull hitter, and he's having a lot of success right now pulling the ball to right field.
And he's getting some great pitches to pull.
And I think he's figuring out who he is on the big league level. Rather than trying to hit to left field, he's just pulling it and having fun.
You know what? Once you have a little success, and we say this a lot, and you feel you belong here, you can take off. And the kid is on fire right now.
Well, if he hasn't proved he can hit the pitch middle in by now.
No, I'm going on record. He's proven to me he can.
Oh, 2 pitch to Escobar. A little high. Well, hopefully Carrasco can bounce back from this. A little chippiness there, huh?
What, from Escobar?
I don't know if Carrasco didn't appreciate the way Escobar just dropped the bat. It really wasn't that close of a pitch. And that one was. That one got his attention. I think that was a okay.
Yeah, you didn't see anything there.
I think he understands now. And it's 2-2. Little jam job. Kipnis will make the catch. A pair of 2-run homers for the Twins in the 3rd. And Minnesota jumps to a 4-0 lead. Mickey Callaway spoke to Roberto Perez, and I mean, he did all the talking.
Well, I'm sure it's about location and how you're calling the game and everything like that.
And he was pointing to whatever he had in his hand, whether it was a scouting report or something.
Absolutely.
Probably showing him, hey, Max Kepler, don't throw it here. That guy kills everything at this location. Obviously, that's oversimplifying it, but I mean, they've got to figure out a way to make some kind of an adjustment against that guy.
Well, right now, offensively, they got to come back and try and cut into that lead. They were able to do it yesterday in the first when they got on the board with 2. They came back to score 3.
Abraham Almonte getting the start tonight. Almonte batting .270 now on the year. He's batted 37 times. He's collected 10 hits. His first 5 hits were all doubles. Since then, he's collected his first home run of the year. Two balls, 2 strikes. And he's down on strikes. First K for Gibson, 1 away. Back down to Andre.
After all the talk about Matt LaCroix coming here, Jonathan LaCroix possibly coming here. Yesterday, Terry Francona went out of his way to say, I love my catchers. He goes, I'll stand next to him. He goes, I know Roberto hasn't hit that well so far this year, but I know he and Chris Jimenez put all their effort into being behind our pitchers, and if I have to pinch hit for them, I'll do that. I love the trades we made, and I love the trades we didn't make.
Well, Roberto Perez on the year is 2 for 29.
Well, the thing of it is, in that situation, when you had a trade in place and the guy has a no trade clause and didn't come here, I'll tell you what, if he would have been happy to come here, it would have been a different situation. He would have been a welcome addition. But now they're going to have to stay with what they have. And I mean, they don't have an everyday catcher.
He's out. Back-to-back strikeouts, 2 down.
Well, Indians baseball is live with the MLB.com @bat app. You can stay connected all season with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com @bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
Top of the order, Carlos Santana, base hit his first time up. Here again, though, we mentioned before, Minnesota, in their 27 games against the rest of the American League Central Division, they're averaging 3.3 runs a game. Against the Indians, better than 5, and they've already put 4 on the board. Kyle Gibson makes quick work of the Indians. He needed 8 pitches to get through the second, 10 to get through the third. Here in the 4th inning, bottom third of the order due up for the Twins. Kyle Gibson has cruised through the first 3 innings on 32 pitches. Carrasco about to make his 62nd pitch of the game. Throws it by Rosario for strike 1. Every starting rotation has its ups and downs, but you have to be a little bit concerned in the last 10 games. So that's essentially 2 turns through the rotation. The Indians starters have 2 wins. They have 2 losses. The other 6 games they aren't even involved in a decision.
Right.
So it hit, you know, a couple of times through the rotation, with the exception of a couple of decent outings. It has not been a very good run here.
You're going to have hot spells. You're going to have cold spells. They just need something to get them going. I mean, they went through the month of June. They were, every one of them, it seemed, were going out there and going 7 innings every start.
Well, Tomlin and Kluber gave you back-to-back really good starts to finish off the sweep of the A's, and you thought, well, okay, there you go, getting it back on track.
Right.
But boy, Salazar went out last night. That didn't go well, and Carrasco seemed like everything was going to be fine tonight, but ran into a 4-hitter buzzsaw, which he gave up 4 quick ones. Hopefully he can bounce back and put that behind him.
Yeah, it's all part of it. I mean, it's part of the year. When your starters are struggling, it's time for your offense to step up and your bullpen to step up. And you know, you're going to have to win some games 6-5 and score 7 runs. You're not always going to give up 3 or less runs and make it easy.
Line drive to right, and Chisholm makes the grab. Star-studded MLB showdown on FS1 Saturday, when the Red Sox visit Chavez Ravine in Los Angeles to take on the Dodgers. Action begins Saturday at 4 Eastern, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. One down for Jorge Polanco.
Since July 2nd, and that's when we were in Toronto. The Indian starters, they only had let me recount this and make sure I'm correct. Eight starts over 6 innings. Over 6 innings. 8 starts since July 2nd. Today is August 2nd, so that's the last month.
Yeah, and that covers 23 games. Missed inside. Well, again, it's not as though it's been a complete drop-off. There have been some good outings, but they just haven't been able to consistently put that roll together. And I don't think we'd be bringing this up or really paying it too much attention if this wasn't a team that literally has built itself on its starting rotation. And into second base goes Polanco with another extra base hit for the Twins tonight.
Well, I have to tell you, I haven't seen a team swinging as confidently as the Twins are swinging it right here in a long time. I think maybe Boston, I would say, when we caught them at one time, but the Twins are swinging it, man. Their outs have been hard and loud. And they have already 5 extra base hits tonight. The 3 doubles, the 2 homers. Now I want to go back, and in that 14-game winning streak, 11 times they've gone well over the 6 inning mark. Yeah. 11 out of those 14. So they were there. They were dominating. I mean, a couple of those times it was 8, 7. So I mean, that's it. This team is built on their starting pitching, and that's how they're going to live and die. But if you remember, at a point in time earlier this year, it seemed like they gave up the lead early a lot, and that's when this team struggled. And they're hitting a little rough patch right now, and they're falling behind early. Right now for Carlos, he's got to try and keep it right where it is at, 4-0.
The 0-2. Smashed in the hole. Base hit. Coming around third. Polanco gets the stop sign. And the Twins have runners at the corners with 1 out.
Okay, pitch at a breaking ball that Carrasco left up. Made it easy for Santana to take it the other way. He is now 2 for 2. There's a pitch. Just stay back and you can slap it the other way. So the Twins now at the corners with 1 out. Perez is going to go to the mound. Give us time to send out some birthday wishes. I'd like to send out a very special happy birthday, Joanne Sorge. West, happy birthday, Joanne. You heard of Swings and Things.
Oh yeah, Tim Company.
Tim's wife, Joanne, her birthday tonight, so a very special happy birthday to you.
Carrasco already about to make his 75th pitch tonight. And Brian Dozier launched a 2-run homer to the bleachers off of him his last time up.
The last 2 batters Carrasco had down in the count 0-2.
Upstairs again, 2-0, and this is where you get in trouble against any team and against a particularly good hitter. Pitching from behind usually leads to problems.
Now a guy that's been swinging it so well.
Fastball took it all the way for a strike.
Dozier, a 10-game road hitting streak where he's hitting over 380, has 4 homers, has 9 ribbies in that span. So he's, you know, and it's funny because he was moved down in the lineup. He got off to such a slow start this April. This guy's back in that leadoff spot, going to hack it. They're going to get one. Start the runner, stay out of the double play. Get that run home, make it a 5-0 ball game. So they're going to get aggressive now. They have a big lead. They start their runner, give Dozier the RBI.
Stepping in for the Twins.
You know, once you see that, you see he can't throw a ball high enough for Dozier. He gets after it. He'll find a way to put it in play. But knowing that the runner is off and running, his main objective, put it in play.
Joe Mauer taking. It's a fastball inside corner for a strike. Upstairs, 1-1.
Amazing. We are in the top half of the 4th inning. There's 2 outs. Carlos Carrasco already has thrown 80 pitches.
And for the 2nd night in a row, they've completely taken whatever crowd is here out of it.
Well, you just watch the defenders. these guys in Minnesota, they are taking it to them. They are hitting it hard. You can see the innings, the pitch count. He came out of the chute firing. I mean, 97. The first fastball tomorrow that I saw in this at bat, the four-seamer, was 92. I don't know if he was rested or what. But these guys are locked in.
Low, 2-2.
This guy, I'll tell you what though, Matty, we saw it last night. He does not swing at a pitch off the plate. He just doesn't do it. That pitch is away. Perez trying to bring it back. This guy, he knows the strike zone. He's very disciplined.
Here's the payoff pitch. And he launches that one deep center. And it is off the wall. Another run will score. Mauer into second base, and he'll stop there with a 2-out RBI double. It is 6-0 Twins.
Yeah, you'll see the high fastball, and Mauer just shoots it the other way. That ball above the belt, about the letters, and he stayed on it and takes it. His natural swing takes the ball, and he drives it to left center a lot. And you can see that's a good shot, how high that went off the wall. And now Callaway's got to give him a breather, because
well, they got to get somebody up in the bullpen.
Somebody up in the bullpen, and got to talk about facing Babe Ruth here. Kepler coming to the bat. So Mauer now 2 for 3 again. He has a pair of doubles and another extra base hit. Again, we're going to get a look at Max Kepler again and his 2-run homers, all 4 of them. Running with game number 2, and pretty much along the same lines as we've seen every time we've showed him. I'm still looking for a different pitch, but I'm still getting to see the same thing. They're going to put him on. Take their chances with SANO, and I was thinking before this game started, the 2 guys you got to be careful for against for Carlos was Mauer, who's at 474 against him, and SANO, who was 3 for 7, but he has handled SANO tonight.
There's ball 4. And Miguel Sano will be the batter with 2 on and 2 out.
At the plate for the Twins, the designated
Now the starting pitching has been the story of the season. They have been brilliant for most of it, but they have hit a serious bump in the road. Swing and a miss. And as Sano goes over the top of it, 0-1. I mean, it's one thing if your starter goes out and gives you 6, and you know, you lose 4-3 or 5-2. Yeah, but these have been games where they're not even in it.
There's sometimes you got to give some credit to the guys swinging the bats in Minnesota. They are swinging it. 10 extra base hits last night. They've got 6 already tonight. You're in the 4th inning. And you know, they haven't missed anything, and even their outs are loud. I mean, there have been very few easy outs in the first game and a half of this series. And it's not like, you know, they're just putting up a fence post, the old number one run an inning. They're putting up crooked numbers.
There's a drive deep left center. That is off the wall again. 2 more will score. Miguel Sano with a 2-out, 2-run double. And it is 8-0 Minnesota. Back-to-back 4-run innings. And as the boos rain down, Terry Francona will remove Carlos Carrasco from the fray.
I'll tell you what, he left another one middle of the plate, and Sano smokes it to left center field. Another double. That's 5. He's going to give up 9 hits. He's going to give up 8 runs. And Carlos gave up 6 2-strike hits tonight. So the Twins were all over him this evening.
Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen. Dan Otero's coming on when we come back.
Just a minute, but first, welcome back to our Fox Sports Time Ohio studios here in downtown Cleveland. Tigers 4 back in the AL Central standings behind the Tribe. 4th inning, Navarro with an RBI single for the White Sox out to right field. That brings around Abreu. The White Sox are up right now 1-0 top of the 5th, trying to cool off the Tigers. Guys.
All right, thanks, Ashley. Right now we need somebody to cool off the Twins. They came in here last night and beat the daylights out of the Indians, putting up 19 hits. They've already put up 9 here tonight, and we're in the 4th inning. They've scored 8 runs. They've knocked Carlos Carrasco out. Danny Salazar went 2 innings plus a few batters last night. Carrasco goes 3 2/3 innings here this evening.
Yeah, you look at locations. The 7 of the 9 hits are extra base hits.
Right field. Inning over. Minnesota 8, Cleveland nothing. a phenomenal game last night. Flirted with a no-hitter against Tampa Bay. 14 punch-outs in the 7 no-hit innings that he threw.
It might have been the best game of his career, huh?
Yeah.
35 swings and misses.
Pretty impressive.
Yes, it is. Well, let's see if we can keep the Twins in the field for a few minutes. Hey, we've been the Indians have dealt that to other teams where they've gone out there and they've scored a ton and they've spent a lot of time in the field. Well, the table has been turned tonight and last night. Gibson, he has thrown 34 pitches to this point. He has been in total control. The Indians have 2 hits, and both coming in the first inning. After he got the double play ball in the first, 6 straight have gone down.
Jason Kipnis takes a strike. Pulls it foul. Inside, the Indians have their leadoff man aboard here in the home half of the 4th.
Well, KeyBank Kids tickets are just $15 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. They're located in the family deck out of Progressive Field by the Kids Clubhouse and only available at Indians.com.
Pitch outside to Francisco Lindor, who had a base hit his first time up. The Indians had first and second with 1 out in the first inning. But the double play ball ended the inning, and they haven't done anything since. No hits. Kipnis, the first base runner. And Kyle Gibson with the breaking ball for a strike. Gibson needed 8 pitches to retire on 1, 2, 3 in the second, 10 pitches. 1, 2, 3 in the third, and that was with 2 strikeouts. Now the 1-1. Little low. Right back up the middle, and that's through. And Lindor with his second hit of the night, and the Indians have 2 on with nobody out.
All right, Frankie with 2 of the 3 hits, and this one gets through. So there's your start to an inning right here. A walk. Now you get a base hit.
Carlos home field advantage. Mike Napoli with 16 home runs here at Progressive Field this year. He and Mark Trumbo lead the way in the AL.
Like in your home ballpark, isn't it?
Well, he has definitely thrived here at Progressive Field on the year. A .293 batting average at home for Napoli. But he pops this one up. Shallow left. Out goes Escobar. And the shortstop has it with the infield fly rule in effect. 1 down. Bring up Jose Ramirez. We mentioned before that Hector Santiago was going to start the series finale. They just acquired him in a trade from the Angels. They sent Ricky Nolasco to Los Angeles. Pedro Mora, who covers the Angels, he reported that Ricky Nolasco was asked, how did things in Minnesota go differently than you expected? Nolasco replied, it's cold. There's a pitch to Jose.
Well, he
Ramirez.
won't be able to complain now because he'll be warm in L.A.
And it's only cold in Minnesota for about a month.
Yeah, it's no different than here. A month that lasts for about 8 or 9 of them.
Just I'm talking about during the season.
Oh.
Not like Ricky's hanging out in Minnesota in January.
Yeah, we go up there, they're wearing bear hats and everything like that.
Two on, one out. 0-2 pitch. Way up high. Jose Ramirez helped get the Indians rolling early last night with an RBI single in that first inning. Game with 2 outs. He's been so good all year long with runners in scoring position. Pops this one to center though. 2 down. And that'll leave it up to Lonnie Chisenhall.
The hitter for the Indians, number 8, Lonnie Chisenhall.
Kyle Gibson must want to pinch himself. He's averaged fewer than 4 runs of support this year. He's had 8 starts in which they gave him 1 or 2 runs at the most.
Well, it makes a difference when you're a starting pitcher and you get some runs and you get them early. You can settle in. You know, Barrios, the rookie, did it last night. They got him a couple in the first, although the Indians came right back. But after they added on and they gave him a little breathing room, the young man settled down and pitched very well.
Yep.
So,
well, he retired 13 in a row at one point.
When your offense can get you something early, it certainly helps. Of course, that's not going to happen all the time.
Actually, it was 15 in a row. So yeah, he took the ball and ran with it last night.
You know, sometimes it seems like they relax a little more. They're not tense, and that ball is doing its natural thing. It's taken off, and it has some good movement. You know, if you don't walk hitters, you don't beat yourself, you try to pitch ahead in the count, and it sounds easy. It's not easy, but you know, if you can do things like that and you're blessed to pitch on a day where your team is fortunate enough to give you 4 or 5 runs, you take your chances.
Lonnie hits a high fly ball to center field, and Rosario puts it away. A promising start to the inning fizzles for the Cleveland Indians, and after 4 they trail at 8-0. By Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. By your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. And by the Cleveland Clinic. Access anytime, anywhere. 8-0 Minnesota, 5th inning. Eduardo Escobar leads off. Dan Otero's pitch outside, ball 1.
Otero has had a nice year for the Tribe. His 38 appearances, a 1.31 ERA, 37 strikeouts in his 41 1/3. Sinker, ground ball, that's been his weapon.
1 down. Well, so far tonight, Minnesota has 7 extra base hits.
Well, check the locations, if you will. The ball is getting smacked around because it's right there for him. It's like batting practice. I mean, right down the middle, and they have jumped all over it.
So far in the series, Minnesota has collected 28 hits and 17 have been for extra bases. Two balls, no strikes. Rosario had a base hit in the 2nd inning, single, and then lined out to right field in the 4th. And a foul right back. Second night in a row where Terry Francona's looking to that bullpen to eat up a bunch of innings.
Yes, indeed. You're right.
Last night he used 5 different relievers behind Danny Salazar's short start.
His 2 innings. That's it.
Otero got the final out of the 4th. Pitching here in the 5th. Probably see a new pitcher in the 6th inning, I would imagine.
Well, another thing that the Twins have done when they get to 2 strikes, if they haven't put it in play and hit it hard, they've fouled it off. But they have 2, 3, 4 strikeouts last night in that game. That's it.
Strikes him out here. That's the 2nd strikeout, the 1st since the 2nd hitter of the game. And I guess I'll be curious to wonder if he's asked it after the game, if we get a chance to catch up with him tomorrow. You pointed it out. Carrasco came out tonight. In that 1st inning, he was throwing some darts.
97.
I mean, boom, let's go. He was getting
First
after
pitch of the game.
And then little by little, the velocity started to fall by the wayside. And whether it was just a little extra adrenaline at the start or if he just ran out of gas quickly. I mean, in that 3rd inning, it just 4 hitters.
Oh, yeah, extra base hits. Double dinger, double dinger.
Yeah.
And everything that we started the show, and we just showed you the top part of this inning, had middle of the plate. Carrasco's never in the middle of the plate. His ball's always darting, moving, doing something. You know, they pitch out of the pitching lanes, as we call them. But boy, they've been on the plate, and the Twins haven't missed anything in his first 2 games.
Missed outside, 2-1. Drilled into right field.
There's a 2-1 count. Gets a pitch and just ropes it to right field. You're talking Polanco. What a series he's had. He had 2 triples last night He's got 2 doubles tonight with 2 outs. 2-1 pitch. Look at it. They are getting after it. Another extra base hit. 6 doubles tonight.
Danny Santana's had a good night. He's got a double, a single, and 2 runs scored already. Out of play. Nothing into the count. The double by Polanco, the 6th for Minnesota tonight, that ties their season high. Hit it 3 times. Little high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. By the way, unless something remarkable happens, this will be the first time since July of 2011 that Carrasco has lost 3 consecutive home starts. Down to third goes Polanco on the wild pitch.
Not much you could do here if you're a catcher. There's the breaking ball down way out in front of the plate. You can see where Perez is trying to get that body and get over and block it. Couldn't do it. Now a 2-2 count.
Foul back. Stays 2-2.
Go.
Yeah,
fouling them off. I'm telling you, these guys, they keep fouling them off. It doesn't matter. You get around the strike zone. And it's not one hitter, it's everybody. He was down 0-2 in this count. As a number of Twins hitters have been, and they've been back.
There's a line to the right. Lonnie Chisenhall makes the catch to end the inning. Middle of the 5th. Minnesota 8, Cleveland nothing.
Leading the way with tires that deliver superior performance in clutch situations. Goodyear, more driven. Back here, bottom half of the 5th inning. Indians going to try to get on the board. 3 hits tonight. They had an opportunity last inning where Kipnis-Walk, Lindor singled, but the next 3 guys went down in order. It'll be Tyler Naquin grounded out to first. There's a 3-1 put out on his first at bat.
Smash to short. Escobar with a nifty backhand. 1 away.
Played perfectly right there. Going to head down to the ballpark for another Dollar Dog night. That'll take place August 12th. Plus, you don't want to miss the first night of a Rockin' Blast that's presented by First Energy. The 12th and the 13th will be Rockin' Blast. Go to Indians.com for your tickets.
There's a bullet down the right field line, headed toward the corner. Almonte into second base for the 1-out double. That's been his hit of choice this year for Almonte. His 11th hit, and 6 of them have been doubles.
Yeah, this one right down the first baseline, gets it past Mauer. See if they can do anything with it.
Well, Roberto Perez struck out his first time up. I don't think he threw him a strike that first time up. Threw him all off speed pitches, and Perez, who's normally a pretty patient hitter with regards to pitches in and around the strike zone, but he was chasing that first time up. Quickly 0-2. Just missed outside, not by much. It's funny, that might have been the best pitch he's seen in the at-bat.
A little change up there, tried to get him to swing over the top of it, and he held up.
Now the 2-2. Chops one over the mound. Dozier throws him out, 2 away. And we go to the top of the order, and Carlos Santana.
Yeah, you get into games like this and it's tough. You can't do it all at once. You have to really creep your way back into it. Just take what you're given, try and base hit. The minute you start going out of your way, you try and do things you're not capable of doing.
Well, at the end of the day here, the Indians have only 4 hits.
Well, Gibson's has settled in now.
3 singles and a double.
He's got a pretty good feel. Drive has had success against him in the past. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, he has 2 wins against the Indians in his career, both of them in this ballpark. Now today it's been his offense that has set the table for him.
Well, the Indians are on the board as Carlos Santana drives one deep, and it's a 2-run homer. Comes with 2 outs here in the 5th inning.
There you go.
His 23rd of the year. I was trying to see if that thing might have gotten to the sawed-off, shortened second deck in right field, because that baby was hit a long way.
Well, I know one thing. They're on the board. It's 2 runs. They cut into the lead. It's now 8-2. And this ball smoked. He left that ball belt high, middle of the plate. Santana knew it. Take the trot for Carlos, his 23rd home run, and 10th given up by Gibson.
I'm pretty sure, Arch, back in the old days of Pronkville, that would have been there. But when they redesigned the ballpark, they cut off several rows in that second deck in right field to open it up for the fans down below.
That was a long way.
Yeah.
That's they're on the board now. They cut in. Now you just keep pecking away. You got to put zeros on the board when you take the field and try and score every time if you can. That was a pretty good pitch there called in.
The 1-1. Off the glove of Mauer and into right field.
I think that ball took a bad hop on the infield. I really do. I think it jumped over his glove. He was going to the backhand side. I could be wrong, but it just looked to me like that ball jumped over Mauer's glove on his backhand side. Take a peek. Watch it. There it is. You see it get up there? That thing jumped up pretty high. That'll be a base hit. That thing, I don't know if it hit a spike mark on the infield.
Funny how the game works. The Indians had 3 hits in the first 4 innings, and now they put together 3 hits here in the 5th. And they've got 2 on the board. Looking for more with 2 outs as Francisco Lindor comes to the plate. Kipnis takes off, and it's a called strike. He'll have his 8th stolen base.
There you go. Get yourself in scoring position, almost like he didn't even pay attention to Kip, and he just took off. Very first move, they know, and a great jump. You're not going to throw through, but you get yourself in scoring position. Well, Frankie a chance. He gets a base hit. They can get 1 more on the board.
And the pitch low and away. 1-1. Well, Lindor's already 2 for 2 tonight.
Right. I mean, he had a ground ball to right field, ground ball up the middle. Gibson is a sinker ball pitcher, and you'll see a lot of balls on the ground. And he's got that changeup and also the slider.
Out of play.
Watch Lindor on his 2 base hits. That was a really good changeup down the first at bat. He found the hole between first and second, then up the middle with a good hard sinker down and away. That's 2 good swings.
Frankie now hitting .354 on the year at home.
Get another base hit. Get this crowd into it a little bit.
This might get out of play, though.
It will.
And he'll get another chance. Tribe finally getting on the board here in the 5th. The 2-run homer by Santana. Kipnis a single and a steal. He's in scoring position for Lindor.
Look at that.
Slashes one left field. Gets down. Base hit. Run will score. Lindor held to a long 2-out RBI single. It's an 8-3 ball game.
What a great job of hitting there.
And he's now 3 for 3 on the evening.
I mean, he served that ball. He had to reach for it. He kept it fair. He stayed back. Watch his hands and how long that ball tracks. I think it was elevated, which might have made it a little easier for him. It's just a wonderful job of hitting. And now it's interesting. They cut into that lead. You put 3 on the board, and that's a great job. That's why the stolen base paid off by Kipnis. And now Lindor gets his 3-hit game. What's that, number 17?
How about 18?
Oh, wow. There, keep rolling. Now you get a banger here, and you're in really good shape. Well, there you go. They're on the board. They got 3, and a lot of baseball left.
And Mike Napoli, 0 for 2 on the night, is the batter.
Oh boy, he looked like he was spinning his wheels out there as he threw over.
He tends to do that. He gets such a big lead that if that first step.
Yeah. Well, you know what happened after Kipnis took off? They're paying attention now. Yeah. They're not going to let him steal, and I bet Gibson, they have their time, and they know Gibson well. So.
Pitch out, and that ball nearly came back over the plate.
You know what happened? He didn't get the pitch out. He threw a strike, and it might have been a strike. Suzuki says, "What are you doing? We're going pitch out. Here comes the pitch." That might have been a strike if he stayed in his crouch. It's a slider down.
I love the look on Napoli's face too. He was looking and said, what is going on here?
That was pretty strange. Usually when you see a catcher crossed up, he's looking for a fastball and he gets a breaking ball or something like this. But there's the pitch out, and he's got to catch that slider down. Suzuki did a nice job. Nappy saying, "What's going on, my man?"
That was priceless. Close again.
All right, get back. Got that lead up by half a step now. You're going to let Knapp swing the bat.
Twins are debating as to whether or not they want to challenge the call.
Yeah, that's true. They're looking at their own little video to see if they may have tagged him. Never mind. Look at that. He's spinning. He tagged him on the elbow. It was close. Shorten it up a half a step.
Fouled right back. Until he gets to 2 strikes, Mike Napoli doesn't leave anything in the bag.
He gave a Beltre right there. Got down to 1 knee.
He pulls out the driver.
Oh yeah, he keeps the driver out of the bag. Almost twisted his ankle and fell off the base. He's having some trouble out there tonight.
Well, for the first time tonight, the Indians have made Kyle Gibson sweat it out.
Again, they're going to look, you know, and see if he fell off the base. What are they doing here? No. They do this in every pickoff.
Well, this is one area of replay where I think fans are getting a little uneasy. The concept. Wait a minute. Okay, good. Now the 1-1 pitch. Lob the first.
You know, with Gibson, if he wants to, and he does a slide step, man, he could get it to the plate under a second, so he's quick. And you're not going to run in this situation. You're going to let Napoli swing.
He swings and hammers it deep left. Holy smokes! Almost to the top of the bleachers. Holy Toledo! Mike Napoli with an absolute titanic blast to the bleachers, and the Indians are right back in this baby.
Nah, they're back in it is right. Well done, Mr. Napoli. It started with the pitch out that wasn't, and a weird look, and then a changeup that was deep into the night. Number 26 for Knapp. And the Indians have put 5 on the board, and now we have a ball game. Right back in it.
What do you got? 3 rows from the top?
I don't care. I know we got 2 more on the board. I don't know where it hit. That's just what they needed.
Wow. A 5-run 5th for the Indians. Look at that young man. He is
the Indians with
3 rows from the top.
2 homers of their own in the inning. Carlos tried to creep up a little closer, and Knapp said, all right, excuse me. I'm going to go deep one more time. 5 spot in the 5th.
The 2-2. Line drive and a base hit by Jose Ramirez.
See, it's confidence. You get on a roll, and now the Indians got a little mojo flowing. And this is all coming with 2 outs. Indians with 10 runs in the series all have been with 2 outs, Matty. There's a changeup in there, and he stayed back nicely on it. 6 hits in the inning. Now the Indians have 9 hits, and they've got to get their bullpen going. Tonkin is up. You see Crockett down below in the Indians. Now Chisenhall with an opportunity. He will be the 9th man coming to the plate.
Todd Boshenik says the 5 runs scored by the Indians have come in the span of 13 pitches. Wow. But think about how many balls that were thrown over to first base, whether or not that had anything to do with what has transpired. But hey, it all probably has some kind of an effect.
You get this feeling in the stands now that there's some life.
Yeah.
There's some air. They're feeling good about themselves.
Well, let's face it. I said, coming into the inning, they had 3 hits in the game. And then they had 3 hits in the span of 4 batters. And they have continued to hit. There's a drive. Deep right center. Kepler on the run. He won't get it. It's off the wall. Ramirez flying around third. He will score. Chisenhall with an RBI double makes it a 2-run game at 8-6.
Oh boy, this is getting fun. That ball didn't miss by much of getting out of here, but it'll be the second double in the inning. They have 4 extra base hits. They're giving Minnesota a taste of their own medicine. A changeup away. And Chisenhall it's about halfway up the wall there. And out comes Paul Molitor. And Gibson will not be able to finish the 5th after getting 8 runs.
How about that, baby?
That is
He's got an 8-0 lead, and he will not factor in the decision. The Indians have sent 9 men to the plate in the inning, and Gibson exits stage right already. Minnesota goes to the bullpen. We'll be right back. despondent right now in the Minnesota dugout, and why wouldn't he be after he had 2 outs and there was 1 runner on base, and then he never retired another batter. 6 consecutive hits in the inning, and the Indians have put 6 on the board.
Well, you talk about happening quickly. And for the Indians in this series, all 11 runs they've scored, 2 outs. Even though that game was a blowout last night, this one was too, but they brought themselves right back in it with plenty to play.
Hits are now even at 10 apiece. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning, and the tying run is now at the plate. Michael Tonkin to face Tyler Naquin, who is 0 for 2. Good fastball, 95 and above the belt. And it's 0-2. Tyler came into tonight batting .366 at home this year. And he fights off a good fastball to stay alive. Minnesota scored 4 in the 3rd, 4 in the 4th, and the Indians with 6 here in the 5th. And the 0-2 up and away.
Boy, these guys got a couple runs with 2 outs, and it was like a shark that smelled blood. They got after it.
And it happened so quickly, too, as you pointed out. I mean, it was 5 of the runs scored in the span of 13 pitches.
Like I said, you go out there, you just try and get yourself on the board, and then you keep pecking away. But boy, they did that, but then they just continued to do it in the inning, and they brought themselves back in with a 6th spot. Get another one.
Out of play.
This is something, you know, that the offense needs to do with the kind of pitching they've had this year, and they live on that pitching. Your offense has to protect your pitching every once in a while.
Well,
you know,
it took them a while, but they backed it up tonight.
Well, you have 27 outs to do it.
Up and away. And Tyler Naquin with a fantastic at bat after falling behind 0-2. And this crowd, stunned earlier by the 8-0 Twins lead, but they're back in it now.
They want more.
Payoff pitch inside, ball 4, and the inning continues.
Boy, oh boy, an 0-2 walk. You know, that's where Tonkin, who leads Minnesota relievers with 62 strikeouts this year. That's what he tried to do. He wanted to strike him out and said, let's get an out. You've got him 0-2. Try to expand that zone. So now the man, Almonte, who got the first hit in this inning, is getting another crack at it.
Now Abraham Almonte, he blistered a double into the right field corner with 1 out. And then after Roberto Perez grounded out, it was like a track meet. Somebody shot off a gun, and the Indians have been rolling ever since. Almonte took himself a healthy cut, came up empty.
Base hit is all you need.
Lonnie Chisenhall's the runner at second base. Tyler Naquin the tying run at first. In the dirt, what a pick by Suzuki.
Yeah. He did a nice job of getting to that ball, and he actually picked it. And he slides his body. Watch him get over there. You try to block it. But not only, see, he went for the backhand, and then he realized he wasn't going to get there. He moved that body and ended up picking it nicely to save those guys getting into scoring position.
Arch, that was the 40th pitch of the inning by Minnesota. Wow.
Well, here you go. Another 2 strikes on the hitter. See what Tonkin can do.
Downstairs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Struck him out with a high fastball, and the inning comes to an end. But the Indians send 11 men to the plate, and they score 6 times to get themselves right back in it. Oh, the party has just begun.
Four games back. They're in action right now. White Sox were leading at 1-0 heading into the 5th, but their bats just woke up. McCann here with a 2-run single to cap a 6-run 5th inning for Detroit, who's up 8-1 right now, bottom of the 6th, guys.
Well, how do you like that, Ashley? A 6-run 5th for the Tigers and a 6-run 5th for the Indians.
Well, the Tigers are swinging it very well now, too, and they got to James Shields.
Now it's up to Dan Otero to try to keep the Twins at bay. There is action in the Indians bullpen. Dan has gone an inning and a third scoreless. And a strike makes it 0-2. Brian Shaw, the right-hander, Kyle Crockett, the lefty, both up in the Cleveland bullpen.
Well, you probably have Crockett for Mauer and Kepler coming up. Which you'd like to get a 1-2-3 inning, get that offense right back into the dugout.
Look, we've always known that baseball, because there's no clock, there's no such thing as a game ever being over. But when you're up 8-0, there has to be some sort of, okay, we can take our foot off the gas. Seems like we've got this one at hand.
You know, you do see games like that, but you know, occasionally you get games where teams come back from 7, 8, 9-0 early in games. I mean, it's not often. It's very rare.
My question to you is, how difficult is it for Minnesota to sort of ratchet it back up again?
It won't be tough because they're going to keep swinging like they have been. That's why I'm saying you need a nice 1-2-3 one here to keep the momentum in your dugout.
Ryan Dozier hit it hard, but right at Lindor, one away. Here comes Terry Francona. He will make the move to Kyle Crockett. He'll go with his lefty to match up with the two Twins left-handed hitters, and we'll be right back after this. August 16th right here at Progressive Field for the Positive Coaching Alliance Breakfast. Fans will get a behind-the-scenes look at the player development program. Tickets available. Visit positivecoach.org/chapters/Cleveland. Left-hander Kyle Crockett on to face Mauer and Kepler, the left-handed hitters. For Kyle Crockett, he's retired 16 of the 20 batters that he has faced since his most recent call-up from AAA. So he's been better. And you look at the numbers and you think, ooh.
Well, as a reliever, you know, you get off to a rough start, and he's been up and down. Well, his job right now is going to be 2 hitters. If he can get the Indians back in that dugout facing Mauer and Kepler, that'll be job well done, and he'll be out of the game.
Yeah, he worked an inning and 2/3 last night.
Right.
Scoreless, gave up a couple of hits, walked a batter, struck out 1.
Needs it for 2 outs tonight.
And Mauer takes a strike. He's 2 for 3. He's doubled twice. He's scored twice. He's driven in a run. He has 6 hits already in the series. Two quick strikes from Crockett. Now the 0-2. Oh, he punched him out on 3 pitches.
Beautiful.
2 down.
He didn't miss location here. Comes in and doesn't waste time. 1, 2, 3, and there it is. Outside edge, and he catches that corner. Perfect pitch by Crockett. Well done. Now 1 more to go.
Kepler takes. It's a strike. One ball, 1 strike. Kepler, a 2-run homer back of the 3rd. He's hit 4 2-run homers in the series. And the 1-1. Tops it foul. One-two pitch. A little high. And the count evens up.
Right now, this young man is swinging with a lot of confidence. Seeing the ball very well.
High and fouled on the right side. Boy, he hits it a long way, though, doesn't he? That had the distance.
Well, he hung it. And he stayed back, though, on that breaking ball. You don't want to leave it anywhere inside. If you have to do anything, bounce it. Watch, he leaves it in. And, boy, he was right there. He started. He just got out just a hair too quick on it. If you throw that breaking ball, bounce it, go down and away. Don't leave it up. That perfect pitch like you did tomorrow or something away. Yeah, fastball down and away.
And the 2-2.
There you go.
Got him looking. Back-to-back punch-outs by the left-hander Kyle Crockett. And the Twins go 1, 2, 3. The Indians go right back to work with the bats. By Goodyear, leading the way with tires that deliver superior performance in clutch situations. Goodyear, more driven. Roberto Perez, first ball swinging, and Joe Mauer. Well played, Mauer.
Yeah. It was a nice play. He was off the bag anyway. They were giving him the first baseline, and he took one step and horizontal, and there it was. Good play. Boy, that took a hit away from Perez, and to start this inning as well.
Carlos Santana hit a 2-run homer in the 5th. He had a base hit to start the ball game for the Indians. You know, it's funny, so many times we talk about in a rally how a home run can sort of kill a rally. Santana hit the 2-run shot, and it was just business as usual. The Indians just kept rolling.
Yeah, then a base hit, a stolen base, a base hit, a dinger. Yeah, that's as the climb continues for Carlos.
Down low.
Well, they evened it up a little bit because it was all lopsided Minnesota's way. They both have 10 hits now. So Minnesota has the 8 runs.
Strike called. Bottom of the zone. Full count. Oof. That was loud.
That got him on the board.
Yes, it did.
And got him rolling. That's what they needed, a little spark, and that was the spark.
And the payoff pitch is inside, ball 4. And a 1-out base runner for Jason Kipnis.
Well, the Indians' annual 2-night Rock and Blast Fireworks Spectacular will be set August 12th and 13th. The Angels will be in town that weekend. And it's a 25-minute show this year. It's presented by First Energy. And the theme is going to be One Louder. So go to Indians.com and get your tickets, because before long we'll be right back and it'll be here.
Jason Kipnis fouls one straight back.
Got to send out some more birthday wishes. Phyllis Kusarnich of Harville is turning 88. Tom and Dina Williams also celebrating their 66th wedding anniversary of Gerard. Congratulations to you both.
Right-hander up in the Minnesota bullpen. Tonkin with an off-speed pitch for a strike. 0-2 the count. Tonkin came on, walked the first batter he faced in the 5th, and struck out Almonte to end the inning. Got Perez on the lineup, then he walked Santana. And now Kipnis with a base hit in the right field.
Beautiful.
Keep the pressure on as Santana goes to second.
There you go. Found the hole between first and second. You know, Kipnis hit a ball in his last at-bat right there. It took a bad hop and got over the glove of Mauer. That one. So he tries that hole. That this time hit much harder and in the right spot. Then he stole second after that. And then the fun began.
That was a great at-bat, too, by Lindor.
Yeah, it was. His third hit. Now a chance to have a really good night.
He's already 3 for 3 with the RBI and a run scored. Low, ball 1 on a good fastball that just missed out of the strike zone, and out goes Suzuki, presumably just to give Presley a little more time to get ready in the bullpen.
3 for 3 tonight. His 18th 3-hit game this year, which leads the league. Looking for his very first 4-hit game.
right back. You know, it's funny. He's not among the top 10 in just multi-hit games, but he's got more 3-hit games than anybody.
Yeah.
The 1-1. High fly ball. Deep right center. Kepler back on the track at the wall, and he pulls it down.
That's the wind that knocked that one down a little bit.
Santana tagged and went to third, but now there are 2 away. Francisco Lindor came within a foot or so.
He tried to give him the lead. Yeah, well,
Paul Molitor.
he saw
We're going to get a pitching change. Look at Tonkin's reaction. He thought Lindor had hit it out.
Well, you know what, Frankie wasn't sure, but a little too high for him. And at the start of the game, if you remember, that wind was blowing in, so it might have knocked it down a little bit.
Tonkin with a huge sigh of relief as he exits. Ryan Presley is coming on next for Minnesota. Let's go back to the 5th inning. Mike Napoli at the plate. It was supposed to be a pitch out, but the signals got crossed up. Mike said, "Hey, what's going on here?" And they decided to throw one over the plate, and he crushed it.
Well, just love to see a base hit here and get one in. Keep going, keep it rolling.
Ryan Presley, the 52nd appearance of the year. Right-handers having a solid campaign. 3.67 ERA with 5 wins. And a good low heater. Indians have made a lot of noise with 2 outs in the series already.
Yes, they have. All 11 runs that they scored in it have come with 2 outs. Don't stop now.
Just missed outside. Napoli hit one. 3 rows from the top of the bleachers in left field in that 5th inning. Now the 1-1. High pop, right field. In comes Kepler. And the Twins survive a shaky 6th inning, but they still lead it 8-6. to you by the Injury Lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. By Ford, built Ford tough. And by Firelands Regional Medical Center. Back here at Progressive Field, we just had quite a show in between
Zach
innings.
Gormley,
The 2015 World Yo-Yo Champion, performing on the scoreboard.
how awesome was that?
The guys in the bullpen for the Indians, where they just stopped and were staring, and it's like, that's unbelievable what that guy could do with a yo-yo.
That certainly was. 15 years old. Impressive.
Brian Shaw on for the Indians. He's the fourth pitcher of the night. He's got the 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up for Minnesota. Boy, what a job so far tonight by the Indians pen. Dan Otero went an inning and 2/3 scoreless. Then Kyle Crockett came on, faced 2 left-handed hitters, Maurer and Kepler, and struck them both out. Now Shaw delivers. Sano, first ball swinging, took a wild hop. Ramirez with a great job to glove and throw, and he got him. One away.
You know, that was a tough play because that ball took off on him with the spin, and he had to throw off balance. Watch the second hop. You see, it tricked him. He had to go to his backhand and almost had a tough time getting it out of the glove, but still made the play. Kept his balance, good concentration, nice play.
Good quick hands.
Yeah.
Kurt Suzuki is 0 for 3. This game could go a number of ways down the stretch here. But it has taken on the feel, and we've seen games, we've been on both sides of these kinds of games where a team has a big lead and all of a sudden they sort of relax. It's understandable. And they go from being on the attack and playing to try and win the game to playing not to lose it now.
Well, if they can come back and get one on the board, which I'm sure that offense is going to try to do the way they've been swinging in the first 2 games, that will get their momentum and that positive flow going in their dugout. So the Indians cannot allow another run to score at this point. And this is where the Indians have been at their best, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning at home. So, you know, you're getting into your territory, and they're still down 2. So you just don't want to give up any more.
From the 7th through 9th innings, overall this year, the Indians are plus 11. Their biggest inning by far this year, for whatever reason, has been the 5th. They have now outscored their opponents on the year by 43 runs in the 5th inning. They're 97 to 54. And what's crazy about that, Arch, they haven't scored more than 66 runs in any other inning this year. But in the 5th, they have 97 runs scored.
That's amazing. Tough to figure.
Yeah. Brian Shaw finds the strike zone there. Important. You don't want to set the table for the Twins to have another big inning now. The problem with saying, well, make them earn their way on base, they have. Minnesota has banged out 30 hits already in the first 2 games of this series. 2 on, 1 out. Time for an in-game update. Let's go back to Ashley Collins in the studio.
Thanks, Matt. The AL East leading Orioles playing a little home run derby tonight against the Texas Rangers. Alvarez in the 7th with his 2nd homer of the night, 15th of the season. Their first 4 runs were all solo shots. They're leading at 5-1 right now, bottom of the 8th, guys.
Well, we witnessed that.
And that's off you, Darvish, too.
Yeah, they can. They feel very comfortable in their home ballpark. And the long ball is a big part of that offense there.
Speaking of feeling comfortable, Detroit up 10-3 on Chicago. Eddie Rosario swings at the first pitch, pops it up foul, but he'll get a reprieve as this one finds its way into the seats. Rosario had a base hit in the second inning. He lined out in the fourth and struck out in the fifth inning. Threw it right by him, 0-2. Upstairs with a heater, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Right back up the middle. He got a piece of it. Kipnis steps on the bag, goes to first, an inning-ending double play. Jason Kipnis turns 2, and the Tribe will go back to work on offense. Leads it, but the Indians on the comeback trail, down 2, bottom of the 7th inning, and Jose Ramirez to the plate, 1 for 3 on the night. Ryan Presley delivers, and a ground ball right at Dozier. The second baseman takes care of it, 1 away.
Well, the first 12,500 fans will get a Bob Feller bobblehead. That'll be courtesy of Ameritech. The Tribe will take on the Angels. That'll take place on the 13th, the Saturday, and all fans can enjoy a pregame block party out in right field. It's presented by T-Mobile. Go to Indians.com for your tickets.
Lonnie Chisenhall takes a strike. Lonnie delivered the RBI double in the 5th that got the Indians to within 8-6. Presley gets 2 quick strikes on him. Upstairs with it. Chased one in the dirt. SUZUKI takes care of it. 2 down. Indians Twins going at it tomorrow night. Trevor Bauer will go for Cleveland. Tyler Duffy will make the start for Minnesota. Our coverage begins with Indians Live at 6:30. First pitch at 7 here on Sports Time Ohio, or streaming live on Fox Sports Go. 2 down. Indians yet to score against this Minnesota bullpen, which boasts the 3rd highest earned run average in the American League. Missed inside, ball 1.
When everybody pretty much straight away.
Smashed into left field and a base hit for Tyler Naquin. That'll keep the inning alive as the Indians continue to swing the bat well with 2 outs.
That's a nice swing. He goes the other way. There it is. Fastball away. Stayed on it. And gets it to left field. That's 12 hits now for the Indians. They have out hit the Twins 12-11 for Naquin, his first hit on the night. And again, here we go with 2 outs.
And in the series, they're 12 for 27 with 2 outs. So Abraham Almonte looks to keep it rolling here. He struck out to end the 5th with 2 aboard. Put away, ball 1.
I know that Perez is on deck, but if it gets to him, I'm sure Tito will be on the bench and go to the bench.
Throws it away.
All right, heads up.
Slams on the brakes. Probably a wise move. That ball hit the side and carried him way out to Dozier.
Well, he was heads up. I mean, he got over to that play in a hurry, but it ricocheted so far out. You can't take a chance. You got to stay put unless you're absolutely sure you could get yourself in scoring position.
That's a terrible break if you're Naquin. You're thinking, I can't even get to second base on that.
Yeah, but he picked it up, and Dozier was heads up on the play. Got a big carom coming off the wall, or a good kick.
Almonte shoots it foul. Yeah! Nice play.
With the glove?
Yeah, with the glove and all.
And he had to jump for that one. He's getting a round of applause down there in his section.
Up high, 2-1. Left-hander getting loose in the Minnesota pen. Taylor Rogers is up. 2-1 offering to Almonte and a ground ball to Dozier. And he'll throw him out. So we played 7. And Minnesota still leads at 8-6. Is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Well, it was 8-0 Minnesota at one point. The Indians have come back to make a game of it. And here in the 8th inning, Brian Shaw will go to work against the bottom of the order. Jorge Polanco, Danny Santana, then Brian Dozier, the leadoff man, due third. Shaw got a double play ball to get out of the 7th. Bit outside, 2-1. Swing and a miss to even the count. New York Mets fading in the NL East, but they smoked the Yankees tonight 7-1. New York 55-51 on the year, but they started the night 7.5 back of the Nationals, who are just on their way out in Arizona, leading the Diamondbacks 1-0. Plus they've got the Marlins in front of them. We'll see Miami later this year.
Yeah, they'll come here, make a visit to Cleveland.
Marlins, it's not like they're out of their race in the NL East, but could potentially be fighting for a wild card spot. They are trailing the Cubs right now 3-0 at Wrigley in the 7th inning.
They'll be here September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
2-2. Fouled back. Baltimore beat Texas by a final score of 5-1. So the Orioles will maintain the top spot in the AL East. Red Sox are out on the West Coast. They're game back.
Yeah, there was a good game last night out in Seattle between those two ball clubs.
Toronto also a game back. Blue Jays lead the Astros 2-0 in the 7th. In the dirt, full count. Chopper to third. Ramirez throws him out. 1 away. Saturday on UFC Fight Night, undefeated rising star Yair Rodriguez takes on Alex Bruce Lecroy. Bruce Lerod, forget it. I'm done. How about one more name? It starts at 7 Eastern on FS1 or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. There's a strike call to Danny Santana. He has doubled, singled, scored twice. 2 for 3 on the night. Had 2 hits last night. Foul, out of play.
Done something a little different from in the past when you see Santana. Really not much of a stride. You know, that double we saw earlier, he just got those hands through the hitting area.
Stays fair? No. Went foul right in front of the bag. Napoli was right there, but it just kicked foul in front of the base. Well, I'm sure Tom Bernansky has been able to make some headway with the young hitters on this Twins ball club. He certainly has enough of them to work with.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to get a look at what they have for next year. Nice.
What a play by Ramirez. The fact that he got it off and made it even close was pretty spectacular.
Yeah, it really was. There was no way you're going to throw a guy out with any kind of speed. It was just very good effort. And as you're going back and to the line, look how far he's got to throw this ball and jump and get rid of it. Really good effort. Wasn't going to get him, but very nice try. So Santana gets his 3rd hit.
You know, Arch, I was just thinking as I was mentioning about Tom Bernansky being the hitting coach. I wonder how difficult it is for guys in that position. And I can think of a few off the top of my head. You know, if you're the hitting coach with a manager who is a way better hitter than you even were. You know,
well, I'm sure they discuss, you know, philosophies and how you want to go about teaching hitting, and you go about it. Hey, Molitor was as good a hitter as you can have, but you know, you're the manager for a reason. I'm sure he has some input into it. He was a guy that didn't stride a whole lot, you know, but he had a quick bat.
Sure.
Brunansky was a guy that had great power. He was a good hitter. He played part of those with those Minnesota teams that could score a lot of runs. Hitting's a philosophy. You've got to instill confidence in your guys and know each hitter.
Great.
Like I have no idea. I don't remember. But when Pete Rose was managing the, who was his hitting coach? You know, you wonder. You think to yourself,
yeah,
if you're a player, you're looking at the hitting coach going, "Well, I'll just go talk to Pete."
Yeah, but you have different styles of hitting. No hitters. You got guys that line drive hitters, singles hitters. You know, you got big, strong guys that have long swings, and there's so many different styles to hitting.
The 1-1. Line drive, right center. Lonnie cuts it off. And his throw is cut off. So they keep the double play in order, but the Twins have first and third with only one out now here in the 8th inning.
Well, Dozier, he gets his second hit, but watch this pitch up. It's a little cutter. Easy for him to take it the other way. He didn't try to pull it. So here comes Minnesota back. They out hit him now 13, and here comes Tito.
Well, he's got Cody Allen up.
He's coming in.
So he'll come on here in the 8th with 2 on and 1 out, and the Indians down 2. With 2 men on and 1 out here in the 8th inning. And he'll be facing Joe Mauer.
You know, it's interesting here when he comes into this situation. I know that Miller pitched last night and he faced those 2 hitters. And Mauer did hit a home run, but in a situation 1st and 3rd where you really can't let him score again, you would think it screams for Miller, but in comes Allen. So we'll see. I'm sure they have their numbers and they know exactly what they're doing and the way they're thinking about this. But this is a tough guy. He is a double play candidate. There's no question about that. If you can get him to hit it on the ground, but he doesn't swing it a lot off the plate. We've told you.
Well, and he seems to be in a pretty good spot offensively. The way
he's swinging it. He's only grounded into 5 double plays. Now I've seen him in the past where he's been in the 20s.
Checks on a high pitch. Ball 1. There's a good pitch in for
right now. You can feel the tension in the ballpark. You know what I mean? 1st and 3rd, they realize they can't let them have any more, and they're going into their tough part of the lineup. Mauer had 4 hits last night. He's got 2 tonight, a couple of doubles. Love to get the ground ball double play and get out of the inning.
Roberto Perez comes out, tells the defense what's up.
Well, with Dozier at first base, he's stolen 8 out of 9 this year. And it's not a bad time to steal a base if you can, to take the double play out of, especially when you've got a guy at 3rd that can run a little bit.
He's not running. And Mauer fouls it back out of play.
You know, you get a point to where, do you think they're going to throw through? Because the first thing you have to do is look that guy back at third base if the runner does start. So you got to be a little defensive to begin with there in that situation. So now Allen ahead in the count, 1-2.
Keeps Dozier close.
Yeah, paying attention, making sure we're thinking about you.
And Dozier's not a guy, he doesn't have one of those leads that makes you nervous.
And he's not a blazer. You know, you just make sure you pay attention to him.
He's not running, and Mauer fouls it out of play again. That's where Mauer can be a pain because he can wait so long and just flick the wrist and foul your good fastball off.
And that's where you see where this guy, when he fouls all his pitches off, it's to the third base side because he is waiting on the ball. He's not a guy that tries to pull it. So you're going to have to make a good pitch to get him out.
He pulled a pitch last night off Miller for the home run because he kind of spun one up in there. Just sped his bat up really more than anything. 1-2 pitch.
Love that
He
pitch.
went hard in on him and popped him up foul.
Love that pitch up and in. Gonna make him get those hands through the baseball. And you can see the glove. Perez wanted it upstairs. That's a great pitch. Up above the belt. He does get a piece of it to stay alive. Quiet.
Sure is.
It's very quiet in here.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Maybe two here.
Yes.
Kipnis to Lindor for one back to first. They got him.
Yes.
They turned a double play in the clutch. A bit slow to develop, but Kipnis with a good feed to Lindor rifles it back to Knapp to end the inning.
Taylor Rogers, the left-hander, coming on for the 33rd time, a 3-0 record. And he's coming on. He's going to face Perez, Santana, and Kipnis.
And Terry Francona is going to stay with Roberto Perez. A little bit curious. He's pinch hit for his catchers almost habitually late in ball games. But he's going to give it a go with Perez to lead off the bottom of the 8th. And the pitch is outside, ball 1. Now Roberto is 2 for 32 on the year. Fastball, it's called a strike, but I don't know about that one. If you watch the way Suzuki caught it with the ball going in and yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, it didn't. You're right. The way he caught it, it looked like it was a lot farther in.
Good breaking ball. It's ahead of the count, 1-2. Roberto Perez, then Carlos Santana, and Jason Kipnis for the Tribe in the 8th. Down on the dirt, 2-2. Inside, full count.
That leadoff man aboard if you can.
Time called before the payoff pitch. We're in the bottom of the 8th, just starting. So the Indians down 2. Taylor Rogers, the 4th Minnesota pitcher to work here tonight. Broke his back. It gets away. Dozier, though, there to clean it up, and he still gets him out. 1 down.
Well, it deflected, but he didn't deaden it enough. He just deflected it where Dozier was able to come up and give a backhanded flip to get him and retiring.
Carlos Santana takes down low, ball 1. Santana with a base hit in the 1st, grounded out in the 3rd, hit a 2-run homer in the 5th, and walked in the 6th inning. Chops one up the middle, and it's going to get into center field. A tying run to the plate. Santana's 3rd hit of the night. Let's go down to Andre Knott.
You guys all can see Jason Kipnis' numbers are much different than they've been in the past. As a matter of fact, he's a home run away from having a career high. If you look at his batting stance, it's changed a little bit. He's not taking a long stride into the ball anymore. He picks that foot up and puts it right back down. Now, he talked to Jason Giambi in spring training about doing that so he would be quicker to breaking balls, and that last hit came on a hit against the breaking ball, and he thinks his power. And the other thing he's done, Rick and Matt, he's using a bat that's an ounce heavier than he's ever used before. That's why he's pulled the ball more, and that's why he believes he's been more powerful so far this season.
Yeah, a lot of times you hear hitters talk when it's a matter of getting that foot down. It's not how far you stride. The shorter sometimes the better, and you get your hands through that zone. Well, he's been very good and very consistent.
He's held his own against left-handers as well, batting .269 on the year against lefties. 1-1 to count. And look at that. That's clutch.
Yeah.
6 of his 17 homers that come from the 7th inning on.
Well, he had his last 2 times up, he's had singles, and now we're in the 8th. He could use one right here. You know, that second pitch, that 0-1 pitch was a great take because it was just off the plate and he spit on it.
Their closer, Brandon Kinsler, getting ready. Oliver may go to him here in the 8th. Probably to face Napoli if it gets to that point. Kipnis sends a fly ball. Right center. Kepler is there on the track, and he'll make the catch. 2-0. Well, the Indians have driven a couple to the warning track in right field. One with 2 on in the 6th inning by Francisco Lindor that had Kepler almost up against the wall. And then Kipnis drives one to the middle of the track here in the 8th. Now here is Lindor with another chance. The only problem he had in the 6th inning is he hit it maybe just a tad too high.
Yes. Yeah, he hits more balls line drive style, not high. He just got under it just a hair.
For the year, Frankie, a .336 average against lefties. And he has hit 3 homers from this side of the plate, 9 from the other side. Quickly 0-2 the count. He was out in front of that one a little bit.
Yeah, now you get into protect mode. Anything close, you'll end up swinging at it.
Now the 2-strike pitch. Remember the other day, I forget who it was from Oakland, he was so far out in front he hit the ball inside the front opening of the Oakland dugout.
That was Vogt?
Left-handed hitter.
Yeah, Vogt, the catcher.
He pulled all the way around.
Yes, he did.
And then went the other way and got a base hit.
Yes.
The 1-2. Big chopper to short. And the inning is over. One more to go. We head to the 9th. Indians down 2.
Square, gorgeous night downtown, but the Twins leading this one 8-6 over here in the corner, along with Jensen Lewis, Al Pulowski. Jensen, Well, this Indians ball club, they were down 8-0. Give them credit for making it a game so far.
No, it's just been the real issue with the Twins this year, leaving pitches out over the plate in the big inning. It has really killed the Indians all season long with the Twins. We'll delve a little bit more deeper into why they've really capitalized so much in 2016.
All right, that's with Indians Live coming up right after this one, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. For the 9th inning call, here are Matt and Rick. Guys?
Yeah, it was a 4-run third, a 4-run fourth, and then the Indians had a 6-run fifth. That's all the scoring we've had tonight. It has been the big inning. And it's Austin Adams to try and keep it a 2-run game here in the 9th. Cody Allen got the double play ball against Joe Mauer in the 8th. It's the only batter he faces tonight. Adams to face Max Kepler, then Miguel Sano and Kurt Suzuki. Second night in a row, the Indians have had to use 6 pitchers in a ball game. Adams and Kyle Crockett, the only pitchers who've gone back-to-back to this point. Austin worked a 1 inning yesterday. And they just walked Kepler on 4 pitches.
Yeah, didn't waste any time, huh? 4 straight. Get the leadoff man aboard.
Up comes Miguel Sano, and he's 1 for 4.
Miguel Sano.
Sano drove in the last 2 runs of the game for the Twins in the 4th inning when he crushed one to left center. And that was the last batter that Carlos Carrasco faced in the 4th inning. And it made it 8-0. One ball, 1 strike. Most of the games tonight have gone final. Royals beat the Rays 3-2. Tigers roughed up the White Sox 11-5. Strike called, 1-2 the count. Blowing away. 2-2. Good off-speed pitch, and he strikes him out. 1 down.
Got him with the slider. And in the sequence, he was able to get him to swing at it and then expand it. And there you go. Gets him to chase it. Strikeout. First out of the inning.
And up comes Kurt Suzuki, who is 1 for 4 tonight. He had a base hit his last time up. It's almost like it's been 2 different games. The one that Minnesota jumped out to the 8-0 lead, which afterwards and in the coming days we'll talk more about. Carlos Carrasco got roughed up, 8 runs on 9 hits in just 3 2/3 innings.
Be careful there. This is a guy that can handle the bat. They could start the runner and try and play a little game here. Up 2 runs, you know, they can be aggressive. They can afford to try and make something happen. Suzuki, his last hit came toward right field, and he sort of concentrates that way. Doesn't try to pull you.
I would imagine too, especially with a guy that's thrown at 95 plus. One and one. Runner going, throw down by Perez. It was close, but he's in there safely. Kepler with his third steal on the year.
Second steal tonight for the Twins, and he had a good jump. And it was a breaking ball. Picked the right pitch, and by the time you throw, watch the tag about the waist. He gets the hand in. There you go. So they have a runner in scoring position now. Perez wants to go out and talk to Adams. That's the thing, you steal base, you go head first, you see that shoulder's a little sore. But he's in there. Kepler, that's his third stolen base.
Two-one pitch. In the air to right. Lonnie Chisenhall, routine play there. And there are two down. So it will bring up Eduardo Escobar.
Now hitting for Minnesota, shortstop Eduardo Escobar.
Minnesota flourished early in this game, just hitting everything in sight. But since the bullpen has come on, they're 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. And they haven't had a ton of opportunities. Dan Otero gave up 1 hit in an inning and 2/3. Crockett, no hits in 2/3. Brian Shaw gave up 3 hits in an inning and a third. Cody Allen got the double play ball. And now Adams, he has not yielded a hit. He walked the batter. A little bit high. One pitch, swung on and missed. High heat, couldn't catch up. Giants lost to the Phillies. Dodgers are in Colorado. Chance for LA to pull to within 1 game of San Francisco in the NL West tonight. Austin Adams trying to put him away. Escobar steps out. Roberto Perez going to go out and talk it over.
Well, you want to make sure you're on the same page. But I will say that Perez, things seem to slow down when he's behind the plate.
Now Adams ready with a 1-2 offering. Did he go? It appeal, he did not.
He was thinking about it. He held up.
Deep right. That's way back and gone. Eduardo Escobar with a killer. A 2-out, 2-run homer here in the 9th. It takes it to a 10-6 Minnesota lead.
That's the dagger right there where he speeds up his bat. He threw him after he got him to almost chase that pitch away. And up and out of the zone. He speeds his bat up and throws a slider right down the middle. Speeds up the bat. That makes it a 10-6 game. That sends the fans to the exits.
And further illustrates why when you fall behind it makes it so hard to come back, because you've got to be almost perfect in pursuit. Bottom of the 9th, and we recap the keys to the game brought to you by Mazda. Carrasco set the tone. He did early in the first 2 innings. He looked like he was going to have a big night, but in the span of 4 batters he gave up 4 runs in the 3rd, and it didn't get any better in the 4th as he was knocked out of the game. And once again they gave up a 2-run homer to Max Kepler.
Well, and for the 2nd straight night, Minnesota 9 extra base hits. They had 10 yesterday in the ball game. So Kinsler coming on. 2-run homer took the save opportunity away. Looking for the last 3 outs.
Mike Napoli hit a 2-run homer in the 5th. It really got the joint jumping. See if he can get him back into the flow with a leadoff hit here in the bottom of the 9th. Takes inside. 1-1. Slowly chopped to third. Down the 1-2. Strikes him out. One away. Well, this turns out to be the Pat O'Brien play of the game. One of many big hits for Minnesota tonight, but that was the backbreaker.
Yeah, the dagger coming in and just that was it, man. It deflated everything. A spinner that said right there, it hit me, and he did. His 5th home run.
By my count, on the first 2 games of this series, Minnesota has hit 8 homers, 2 triples, and 9 doubles. And they've scored 22 runs.
Yeah, they've hit the ball all over this place. But you know that's the thing. What happens when you fall behind like the Indians did 8-0 early in this game? The only opportunity you have is you put zeros the rest of the way. And up until the 9th, they did, and it was at least it gave them a chance to crawl back. They had that 6-run 5th, but if you wanted any opportunity, you couldn't let them get on the board and score again. So once that happened, it almost deflated you. It's tough to play perfect in a ball game.
A little high. Now the 2-2. Oh man, almost picked off Chisenhall in the on-deck circle. Inside, full count.
Well, so far the Indians in this series have scored 11 runs, and all of them coming with 2 outs. I mean, they've scored enough to win. They just haven't been able to hold Minnesota down with 2 to go.
A nice play by Joe Mauer once again.
Yeah, second nice play of the game by him. I thought that ball was by him. He's a big guy, and he tracks it down and flips it to Kinsler. Nice play, stretched out to the max. Gets up and makes the flip for out number 2. He had a line drive hit he took away from Perez earlier in the game. That was back in the 6th inning.
Right back to him. And the Twins have taken the first 2 of a 4-game series as they continue their mastery of the Cleveland Indians. Minnesota is now 7-4 against the Tribe on the year as they take this one by a final score of 10-6. Carlos Carrasco will end up the loser. He goes to 7-5 on the year. I don't know who the win will go to. It might be Tonkin, it might be Presley.
Right.
The official scorer's decision on that one. I'd say Presley. I think he was more effective in relief. But regardless, Indians are now 60-44. They'll still be in first place in the Central, but their lead is now shriveled back to 3 games over the Tigers, who have won 7 in a row, to go to 58-48 on the year.
Well, there's not much you can do in a game like this. The Indians started out in the hole. Carlos Carrasco was dead middle of the plate. They ended up pounding the baseball all over the ballpark, and I don't care. The Indians gave it effort. They scored that 6 runs in the 5th that gave them opportunity, but it's awfully hard to win a ball game when you're down 8-0 and you're heading into the middle part of the game, and your starter just didn't help you out. So it's 2 nights in a row now, and I'll tell you, tomorrow from Bauer, they got to look for some little help on that rotation to go deep into a ball game, because the bullpen has got its work in this first 2 games of the series.
Yeah, you know, you were thinking about, hey, you swept Oakland, things were looking good on the homestand. Twins are coming to town. It's a team you've got to take care of in the Central Division. They have not been able to do it really all season long. So back to square one tomorrow night when the Indians continue this 4-game series against the Twins. For Rick Manning and Andre Knott, I'm Matt Underwood. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Indians Live with Al and Jensen is coming your way next.